What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're actually going to be putting in a dash cam from Ray Photo into my daily driver. I have a Volkswagen Tiguan as my daily. It is a lease. It's actually the car that I use the most, but it's hardly ever on film. It's super cheap to drive. It's got a lot of room in it. I always throw all my parts in it when I'm transporting them. We take it on road trips, stuff like that. Great car to have in the stable. But the people over at Ray Photo actually sent me out this dash cam. It's a 4K dash cam, and full disclosure, they did send this out for free for me to make a review for you guys. So if you guys are interested in buying this, I'll have it linked down below, but we're gonna throw it into the Tiguan. Now, I didn't want to put like a super expensive dash cam into the Tiguan. I have a much more expensive one in the GTS, but for the Tiguan, I just wanted something real basic. So I'm gonna show you guys what comes inside, how to install it, and what the quality of the footage looks like. This should be a pretty easy and straightforward one. All right, so here's the box that it came in. It is a 3-channel 4K dash cam by Ray Photo. It's got a bunch of different features with it, but the reason that I like this is it's a very, very easy and simple, straightforward install. So we're gonna unbox this. I'll show you guys the Tiguan. I know you guys have never, some of you have probably never even seen that I have this car, but this is the car that I daily drive. I drive this thing everywhere on a daily basis. It's got my bike rack up top. It's got a ton of room in it. I'm always throwing parts in this thing, man. It's actually a very, very nice car to have in the stable, so you can just not worry about getting it dirty all the time. Keep the miles low on the nicer cars. Park it outside. It's a lease, so you really don't have to worry about it too much. And I truly believe that, you know, if you're like modifying cars and you're working on these different projects, it's nice to have at least one car in the garage that you don't have to obsess over. You can just kind of own and drive like any other normal human being. Because I definitely wouldn't want to be daily driving this thing or my E36 M3. Those two cars are just too nice to be outside all of the time. So, and I actually leased this thing for no money down and $300 a month, which in my opinion is just super affordable if you just need like a daily driver car. Now, this was over a year ago when I actually ended up leasing this car, and the cost of cars at that point hadn't gone up too dramatic, so this was like a really, really good deal at that point. A few months after I leased this car, the dealership actually called me and they were willing to offer me like $3 grand just to give them the car back. That was just what was happening with cars at that point. Everything was so inflated. As you guys know, it is pretty inflated right now too, but I decided to just keep it because it's really nice to have that car in the stable. So let's go ahead and unbox the dash cam and see what we have to get into in order to install that into the Tiggy. All right, so opening it up, we've got the user manual here. Kind of tells you everything that you need to know to use the functions on this thing. All right, so I'm just unboxing everything as we go here, and there's actually a lot of stuff that's included with this. I was kind of surprised. I thought it was just going to be a front camera, but it is in fact a 3-channel. So you have your rear camera, you have your front camera. This is the GPS unit that actually connects right onto the front. Oh, there it goes. It's magnet. So it connects right onto the front camera. And then you have the 12-volt piece that actually powers the whole thing. So usually with dash cams, like with this car and my other cars, usually I'll hardwire them and tuck the wire super, super nice so you can't tell anything is in there. But for this, we're not going to go that crazy. I don't really care too much in the daily. I will tuck the wires as best as I can, but I'm not going to go as nuts as I would with like the M4 GTS. However, if you guys want to do that, you can. So from my knowledge with dash cams, it usually goes like this. You plug this one into the cigarette lighter. This wire is going to run up to the main front camera, and basically the front camera is what powers the other camera. So being that this is the rear camera, this cable is going to run all the way up from the back to the front and connect to our front camera, and then I'm assuming this guy would go somewhere in between there. It does come with an SD card, 32 gigs, which is plenty, and then a bunch of these guys. You wrap these around the wires themselves, and then you use the adhesive to stick them up above the windshield or rear window, whatever you need to do to make sure it adheres better, and they give you a couple of extra adhesive pads, as well as some screen protectors for the dash cam, which is pretty cool, and then also like a little tool to tuck things in. You guys can just use any sort of trim tool to do that. So that is the gist of it. This all looks really straightforward. This unit also has Wi-Fi, so we're going to be able to connect to the phone and look at the footage, and it is 4K too, so it's probably going to be really good looking footage. So we'll actually drive around and record some footage, and then I'll throw it up on the screen to show you guys once we finish install. But let's get into the install real quick. So I'm going to start with just mounting up the cameras kind of where I want them. Now this little piece right here, GPS piece, but it actually is what adheres the camera and mounts it to the front windshield. There's these little magnetic pieces right here at the bottom, and basically these two little magnetic pieces connect to those magnetic pieces, just like that. And so the nice thing about this is if you want to remove the dash cam, you can just take it off like that. This one, you know, if you don't want to leave it on overnight, or if you're just like in a sketchy area, you can just pull it off real simple. So we'll go ahead and mount this up. The screen's going to be facing like this with the buttons readable. All right, so you got a little bit of adhesive backing right here. We're just gonna pull off that blue tape. That, expose the adhesive. So we'll just mount it up somewhere where you can see it, right here in the center. You can move it around. You guys can put it up here. You can put it wherever you want, but this seems to be a good little area. It's kind of hidden still. So this third camera that they give you right here that kind of has like a little swivel piece to it is actually meant to face you in the interior. So you have your front facing camera like that, and it plugs in just like that. So that way, when this is in the car, it's also filming you. Like, let's say you're an Uber driver and you need to protect yourself from rowdy passengers or whatever. This is what you would probably use, but I guess it's also good to be able to see, you know, what your reaction is, or if you need to film something or talk to the camera for whatever reason, you can do it. Yeah, I decided to move mine all the way to the top. It's still out of the way, like it's not in front of your view. With it being under here, obviously if you have this camera, you're not gonna be able to see anything inside. So I moved it up here just to have this whole thing make a little more sense, and that way you'll be able to see directly out in front of you, and then of course everything behind you with this camera. So you don't have to run, you know, the rear camera. It's obviously a bit more work if you do that, and to be honest, this thing could probably pick up what's going on in the back. You know, obviously you won't get as much coverage if you install the back one, but for this video, we probably will go ahead and install the rear camera as well, so I can show you guys it working. Let's go ahead and throw the rear one in. And I've got a couple of decals right here, so I'll probably end up just throwing it. So I'm just gonna keep this super simple. We'll have the camera right down here. All right, so here's the main cable that is going to be powering the front of the dash cam. Of course, the 12 volt for me is right down here, and I don't ever really use this 12 volts, so I have no problem keeping this plugged in there. But looking at the car, the way that we probably want to run this is going to be out of here, and then I would say in there, or just straight down. Probably just go up in here and tuck it up there or something like that. Now on the M4, I took apart a bunch of stuff and actually had it all like tucked in. You couldn't see any of it, so it's very, very clean. But you know, like I said, with something like this, we're not gonna go that crazy. So we're actually just gonna run it down here and then tuck behind the plastic underneath the floorboard area. There's like a plastic above the little floorboard. We're gonna tuck it back there and then come up, around, up the pillar, and then into the top of the windshield and all the way across to there. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some tucking, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like when I have it set up. All right, so I got the wire coming out of the main little GPS unit right there, and then it just runs, it's tucked into the headliner all the way across, tucked in over there, runs through the back of here, and then runs all the way down this. And you can see a little bit of wire right there, not concerned about that. All of these are pretty much built like the exact same, all these cars, all these newer cars. This whole thing will just pop right off with a trim tool. I ran it behind here, under here, back there, through there, and then up this little piece right here, and you can see a little bit of cable coming out. But you could definitely do it like a lot cleaner if you guys took your time on it. So yeah, that's how we're gonna run this one. Pretty easy, straightforward. And then for the rear camera right here, all of this wire, basically we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna run it out of this port that will be on the camera. Cable will come out of this side and we'll tuck it in the same area. We'll go across the headliner, through here, and then right here, rather than going down, we'll go up. And then we just run it across through here all the way to the back and connect it to our rear camera. So I'm gonna do that now, and then we'll be able to fire this thing up. All right, just finished tucking everything. Actually looks pretty good. It's not bad, man, for a quick little 15-minute install. So we got both the wires coming out there, both of them going into the headliner all the way across. And then for the rear camera, we end up going through the weather stripping and then behind the pillar, and basically just continues to run all the way through there, and then through there. You can see a little bit of wire right there. You gotta tuck that in. And then through the back, and then up through here, through this weather stripping. Just left a little bit of exposed wire, a little bit of slack right here, so when I shut it and open it, it has room. And then I just peeled this piece off and tucked it back there into the rear. So like I said before, if you guys wanted to go nuts, you could run it back through here into this piece, and then into the back, and then through there, and you would really have like no wire showing. But I just, for this, I don't really think it's that necessary. So that is gonna be the rear camera setup. So now we will fire it up, throw the SD card in, fire it up, go for a drive, and see what this footage looks like. So if you guys open up the user manual, there are a ton of features in here. It tells you exactly how to use it. It's got motion detection, loop recording. You can change the resolution. You can do time lapses. You can turn off and on, obviously, the audio. It's got park monitoring for you, exposures, sensors, stamps. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can change in here. So you're gonna wanna go through the manual, but they have the wireless app QR codes right here. I just downloaded that. Should be able to control everything through Wi-Fi with the phone, and we'll go over a little bit of that stuff as well. Throw in our little SD card, plug it in. Nice. So it brings up everything right away. You can see I have my rear camera back here, which is upside down, so I should probably flip that around. And it's obviously got this camera right here for the interior, and then the front, of course. I'm gonna go ahead in the back and flip this one back around. It's upside down right now. So it looks like it's automatically recording, like right when you jump in. See, I flipped around the back camera. See the little Wi-Fi thing in the top corner, so you can connect your app to it and control all of this with that application, which is really nice. But what we're gonna do for this video is just go for a little drive and then see how everything is. See how the quality is and see how, you know, the audio is. We have everything in here. I've seen a lot of like Uber driving videos where, you know, like passengers are just like drunk or freak out, and they use these little interior cameras, which is kind of interesting. This is probably how they do it. They have a dash cam just like this. Something that's like this affordable is just kind of nice to have in the car for extra protection. You can just hit the power button manually and it turns on like that. So we got the app working, pretty cool. You can just go in here and control everything directly from the application, which is kind of nice. You can switch the resolution. So they got different resolutions that you can do. I'll just stick with the highest resolution. You can turn on and off the recordings, and then obviously all of your files from previous recordings are in here. So you have two ways you can do it. You can either download the footage to your phone, or you can take that SD card out and download it to your computer, or whatever you want to do. But for right now, we're just gonna go ahead and get some driving footage of this thing and see how the quality actually is. Kind of interested to see, so let's go ahead and record. Thing actually looks really good. It's not bad. It is not bad for the money, man. This is definitely a nice little option. So if you guys are interested in buying this dash cam, I'll have it linked down below. Super easy install. Pretty much does everything that you need it to do. It took me about, I don't know, 20 minutes to install. Tuck all the wires and everything. Super simple. Looks really good. Anyways, guys, like I said before, if you're interested in buying this dash cam, everything will be linked down below. But just like that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Peace.